What's up, everybody? Steve here with Next Gen Baseball, and I wanted to go over the top 3 velocity killers that pitchers make on a very frequent basis. So we're going to get you started off with the first one right here. First velocity killer I see is guys coming to a balanced position. This is something that a lot of pitching coaches might disagree with me with, but I'm going to explain why we are not going to come to that traditional balanced position like this. Reason being, in order for us to get velocity off the mound, we need to transfer force towards our target. In physics, force is defined as mass times acceleration. If I come to this balanced position right here, my mass is going nowhere, and I'm in a very poor position to really accelerate my body down the mound. What I want to do instead is I want to try and imagine like I got a wall, going straight up right here over the rubber, and I want to try to stay inside that wall as I go into leg lift. So I'll look more like that, where I'm inside my drive leg. It's going to allow me to be quicker down the mound, and I'm going to be able to put my body in a more explosive position. Just like a sprinter. You see sprinters when they get out of the gates, they're hunched over their front foot, they're leaning forward because that puts their body in a position to accelerate down the mound. That's exactly what we do as a pitcher. When we look at very efficient throwers like an Aroldis Chapman or a Tim Lincecum or Josh Hader, or you name it, you can pretty much look up and down Major League lineups and you'll see it pretty consistently. A lot of the very high velocity throwers are inside of their drive leg because it puts them in that position to accelerate down the mound. So that's what we want to try to see pitchers do, and that is the #1 killer that I see. Second biggest velocity killer I see is lack of back leg drive. All right, what I see a lot of guys do, they go into their leg kick and they just on the mound and try to speed up last minute with their arm. This puts our arm at risk for injury, and it takes our body out of the equation. We're gonna decrease velocity. We're gonna increase chance of injury. Now I have a little tool to try to help with that, and it's this little device right here called King of the Hill. So what this does, it has a spring loaded in the very back, and it can tell how much velocity I'm getting, or not how much velocity I'm getting, but how much leg drive am I getting. So when I push hard into this plate, it's gonna make a click. So boom, right there, that sound is what we're looking for. If someone is not driving and they're just falling down the mound, it's not gonna make that clicking sound. So what we really wanna do, and this is one thing that I train with my guys all the time, really trying to get loaded up in that backside as we're coming down the mound, pop the plate, and let her fire. And so that is one thing I do to help combat that velocity killer, get those legs going. Again, we got to transfer force, mass times acceleration. We got to be explosive. So that's what this tool is really, really good at doing. And I could turn up the tension too. I could turn it up heavier and heavier and heavier, or lighter if needed. And we can really, really challenge guys and get their body going and get their legs activated. So that is the second velocity killer that I see amongst a lot of players. The third biggest velocity killer is when I see guys try to pull their glove side. And I see pitching coaches tell guys this all the time, and it actually it's hard to hear. Because what happens is when guys go into their motion, they're taking their glove and they're trying to pull to get that velocity, and that just doesn't do anything for them. And reason being is because we are trying to create hip to shoulder separation, which what that is, instead of pulling our glove side, we're trying to delay that action. So we're coming here, boom, we're coming down, and I am coiled up like this. I got my hip driving and my shoulders back. And that's essentially what separation is. It's our ability to rotate our shoulders against our hips. That gives us the rotation we need to get our velocity, and studies have shown that hip to shoulder separation is the number one predictor of pitching velocity. So that's something that I work a lot on with my guys, and that's one of the only things I work on. Well, not the only thing, but one of the top things by far is creating that separation. And my 4D motion analysis actually allows me to measure that analysis. How much hip to shoulder are we getting? You know, how much coil are we getting? So that way we can actually measure and get what you're doing. And so that is the third velocity killer, is when I see guys try to pull open. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to delay upper body rotation, create a longer path for our arm to travel, which gives it more speed. And so those are the three top velocity killers I see. Again, one, coming to a balance. I see guys do that too much. Don't do it. And two, guys not driving off that backside enough, just falling down the mound. And three, guys trying to pull their glove too soon, don't give their arm enough to pick up speed, and they lose velocity. Not only do they do that, but it puts your arm at risk as well. So that's all I got for you here today. Shoot me a message if you got any questions.